are live. We are live. Jake Paul has an insane secret and he let it slip in a recent interview that no one noticed. Called Floyd Mayweather a bitch. He said Floyd should just stop being a bitch and fight Manny Pacquiao. But he also revealed a secret. I caught it. I got it for you guys. It's fucking insane. We're going to get into all that. Sean Strickland was sparring Alex Pereira in a recent Nina drama video. We're going to get into that and what we can learn from that. I saw Sean sparring Johnny Eblin today at Extreme Couture. Sean looked good. We're going to get into all that. I got the behind the scenes stuff for you guys. Edmund Shabazian was up there. He was wearing the same shirt, man. Great minds think alike. I got a lot of compliments on this shirt. This is a very, very popular shirt, guys. And speaking of Sean Strickland versus Chimaev, Chimaev has issued a $200,000 survival challenge to any Olympic wrestler who can survive with him in sparring. Let me check the chat right now, guys. My name is King David MMA. I'm your host today. I'm a professional MMA champion, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and I teach at the world's greatest gym on the planet, Extreme Couture. We've got the GOAT live, fire emojis. Let's go. We're live. Arpon the Dawn in the chat, guys. So Hamzat has issued a challenge. Plus, we have some rumors. I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek. The rumor is Patty versus Conor McGregor. Patty Pimblett versus Conor McGregor. That's the rumor. Plus, I got an insider tip. I got some insider information about Clavicular's marketing budget, which is going to reveal some things about the current state of social media, how people are paying to become popular, and what that means for just everybody in general, and how much of your feed is actually determined by your interests versus the interests of people who may have different agendas in mind for you. Plus, UFC former star Matt Brown has strong words for Ronda and Gina. We're going to get into all that, man. Everybody's popping off. We've got a lot of news going on. Guys, if you like the crazy shit, go to Fight Circus at Fight Circus on Instagram. Trust me, they got some wild shit on there, guys. Also, send your coach to Studio Millions. Studio Millions will pack their gym. Your coach will love you. They will thank you. Trust me, guys. Listen, it's so freaking easy to pack martial arts studios. There's no reason for your coach to struggle. Okay. So send them to studiomillions.com. They will thank you. Let's get right into it. And shout out to everybody in the chat. Got Lewis saying, we're here, So everybody that's subscribed and got notifications on, you guys are real ones. I appreciate you guys. I don't like a bunch of fucking Buster Browns like on my channel. I like real ones on my channel. So shout out to you guys. I got some inside too, bro. International Fight Week. Let's hear about it, bro. All right. So Jake Paul recently called Floyd Mayweather a bitch in an interview. The interview popped off about 5 days ago because Floyd is stalling on the Manny Pacquiao fight. He wants an exhibition. Manny Pacquiao wants a real fight. Floyd doesn't want to put his O up and potentially lose it to Manny. So he wants it to be an exhibition, but he wants to get paid like it's a real fight. There's a bunch of drama going on, and Jake Paul says that Floyd needs to stop being a bitch and fight Manny Pacquiao. I agree. W Jake Paul. That is a W take right there. And man, Floyd's protecting that. Oh, but like, what does the O mean if it's not real? Right? That's how we get. So I've seen some crazy shit in MMA. There's dudes that will sponsor an event, and someone has asked me to do this. Hey, man, we want to get you on the card. Can you bring a sponsor? If you bring a sponsor, you can pick your opponent. And you're like, what? And they're like, yeah, we have so-and-so in mind. He's on X amount of losses. And you're like, huh? And they're like, yeah, dude, just come out here. You'll get an easy dub. All we need is you to sponsor this event. How fucking, what are we doing then? Is it a sport at that point? So this is the same thing. Like Floyd's gonna do a fucking fake make pretend match with Manny Pacquiao just to keep his O intact. It's like, dude, you guys are a little bit older. You know what I mean? You proved your point. You went undefeated for all those years. You've got world championships. You got a bunch of money that you spent. You're probably doing this because you need money. But put the O up, man. Put the freaking O up. Let Manny take that O, man. At least have the chance. And guess what? You got the opportunity to prove them wrong. That's why we fight, right? People can think whatever they want about us, and we have the chance to prove them wrong. So in this interview, it was Jake Paul and his manager. And they said something that I found fucking fascinating because everybody's looking at this MVP event as MVP versus UFC. But what is the biggest fucking problem in UFC right now? If you ask any fighter, and if you said fighter pay, you're going to be right. Why do all the UFC fighters want to box? Is it because they love boxing? Fuck no. They want money. So they're willing to go box against professional boxers in professional boxing where they do not have a high likelihood of success, but they will secure a bag. So they're willing to go get, essentially beat up. Maybe they win, maybe they don't, but they're going to lose. They're going to look bad. The boxer gets to say, yeah, man, boxers can beat MMA fighters, but they're not fighting them in MMA. To fight them in boxing, but that's where the money's at. So the UFC guys will go over there if they can. The former UFC guys will go over there when they can. And it's a bad look for everybody, right? So what's the natural question that one would ask? One would go, hey, now Dana White is running Zuffa Boxing. Are we going to have crossover fights? Are we going to have Ilia Topuria versus Conor Ben? That would be crazy. Dana shut it down. Absolutely not. Dana says he doesn't want mismatches. He doesn't think that MMA guys can fight boxers in boxing. Dana says that's not happening. But guess what, guys? Dana White's got a rival, and that rival's name is Jake Paul. And Jake Paul and his manager let it slip in an interview that this is exactly what they're planning. So if you sign with MVP instead of the UFC, not only do you get to fight MMA on Netflix, the biggest stage for martial artists in human history, they also have MVP boxing. And they're going to design it so that the MMA athletes that they sign to MVP are not restricted to just MMA. They can do crossover fights in boxing, and it's all going to be under one roof. So now, not only are they paying more, not only do they have a bigger platform, now they're offering fighters the opportunity to bounce back and forth between sports to get their views up, to get their reach up, to get their popularity up, to explore new things, to try new things, and to get more money. They are coming straight at the UFC, guys. This is fucking nuts. This is a huge update, and I hope you guys understand the significance of what this means. Imagine you're a 7-0 or 8-0 prospect, and you have two offers on the table. One of them says, fight on Netflix. Get paid more. Get paid a, a, a minimum amount that is way more than the minimum amount that you've been offered by the other guys. You get to box, you get to do MMA, you get all the eyeballs, you get to collaborate with the influencers, or you can sign another contract. And on the other contract, it says you get paid $12,000 to fight. And you can't go over and box. And like, what would you do? So hopefully, what's going to come from this, and what I believe will come from this, is because Jake Paul is doing all these disruptive, innovative things because he views himself as a disruptor. So the same way that like Uber disrupted cab drivers, and the same way that Netflix disrupted Blockbuster, is the same way that Jake Paul views himself in the martial arts and combat sports space. He's disrupting the industry. He's doing things differently. And he and his manager have a plan to bring in the fighters who are the best fighters available and let them have the options so they're not just stuck in one thing. And then Jake and his manager have the umbrella over both boxing and MMA. Dude, it's getting fucking crazy. And hopefully this inspires the UFC to do something similar so that we can get those crossover fights so that guys can get paid. Let me read the chat because I see some people popping off in the chat right now. And guys, I'm here to connect with you. So if you got something to say it in the chat. It makes it more fun for me. Let's go. Before we get into insight, I got an interview coming out tomorrow with the legend Chris Brennan, the West Side Strangler. Dude, funny enough, my original jiu-jitsu coach, his name is Mark Lehman. He tapped Chris Brennan in a tournament back in the day when they competed against each other. They were bitter rivals for quite some time. And I believe Chris went for a Kimura, which he was known for from bottom, and then Mark spun around and far side arm locked him, if I remember correctly. So shout out to Chris Brennan, OG, fought my coach back in the day in a grappling match. But my coach didn't fight, he grappled. So I know Chris fought as well. So Chris fought and grappled. My coach grappled. So you know what I mean? That's sometimes guys will get you in grappling and they'll be like, oh, bro, I did well. And you're like, dog, their punches weren't involved, right? So it depends on which rule set we're talking about. And he's not happy with JJF. To give you a little insight in the interview, he said that they are corrupt and they've ruined the sport of jiu-jitsu. The interview is going to come out tomorrow morning. John Hogan says, hey, what's up? Just saw you popped up. What's up? I just liked your interview yesterday. Oh, Lewis, I liked your interview yesterday. Oh, yeah, man. So great. See, this is what I'm saying, guys. We're bringing people together, man. Everybody's connected in the chat. Is Jake Paul the new Mike Tyson? You mean the most feared man in boxing? Is that what you mean? The best knockout artist of a generation? Is that what you mean? Is Jake Paul the new Mike Tyson? Let's get some clarification on what you mean while I drink a little more caffeine from the 0-calorie cola. Also, guys, you digging the shirt? I got multiple compliments on this shirt today. Some people like the cat shirt from previous streams. Other people like this shirt. One of the little homies on the amateur team, Asa, my guy, he says he prefers this shirt. So shout out to Asa. I know he watches the stream sometimes. But yeah, man, this shirt got compliments. And crazy enough, this exact same shirt, me and Edmund Shabazian, he's in the UFC, beating people up. And guess what? Same shirt. You know what I'm saying? Same shirt, guys. We're out here, we're representing. And I like the message, faith over fear, right? Because on the other stream, we were talking about having active faith and how there's 3 types of faith. I'm not going to get into all that right now, but faith over fear. When you fear, just have faith and take action, right? Thank you for the support. Does Jake Paul have knockout power like the Mike Tyson? I don't know. Ask Tyron Woodley. Ask Tyron Woodley. Ask Ben Askren. I think that they would say that he does have knockout power. Now, you're saying it's like Tyson. So there's 2 camps. Okay, so back in the day, right? Tyson was the most feared man alive. There wasn't like YouTube. There wasn't a place for dissenting voices. Dissenting. There was descending. There dissenting voices, right? So back in the day, there was just the news. So if you had a theory on something, there was no outlet. But as YouTube became a thing, as the internet started to prosper and proliferate the world, 2 camps emerged about Mike Tyson. Camp number 1, most feared boxer, best heavyweight of all time. Camp number 2, look at his opponent's record. He fought a bunch of cans. He never beat anybody good. He was a propaganda machine propped up. And when he fought somebody good, Evander Holyfield, he lost, got frustrated, and bit Evander Zero. So those are the two conflicting thought processes on Tyson. Now, what you're asking is, does he have knockout power like Mike Tyson? That would depend on which one of those camps you ask. Is he the GOAT of all GOATs? Or was he a guy with a built up record by a machine that needed a star? And they knew that if they got him a bunch of people to highlight reel, then people would believe, hey, man, I saw him knock out 20 guys in a row. Well, dude, those 20 guys, 18 of them were cab drivers, right? And so I'm giving point counterpoint. What I believe is Mike Tyson at the time was the greatest heavyweight champion of all time. Here's why. Because if you go back previous to him fighting those people who they say didn't have great records and were in there to get highlight reeled by Tyson, Tyson fought in the Junior Olympics. Tyson was like 14 and KOing grown men in sparring. Tyson went in the Junior Olympics and was like KOing dudes stiff. So Mike Tyson has an amateur pedigree. And if you go back and watch footage of him when he was like 14, 15, the dude's a fucking phenom boxer. Phenom. And he was KOing pro heavyweight boxers. Like they had to pay dudes to come in and spar him when he was 14 years old. And he would knock them dead. Right. So that's why I'm on the side of Mike Tyson in terms of boxing was the GOAT. Okay. At that time, obviously times evolve, but at that time, Mike Tyson, man, KO power, knockout artist extraordinaire. And a lot of people think that it was just the KO power. He actually had awesome footwork and he understood angles and placement. So a lot of times he would take an outside angle, pivot, right? And then he would throw like hook, uppercut, hook, or uppercut, hook, hook, right? But he would be off angle. So if you go to block, the uppercut's coming, or if you go to parry the uppercut of boom, the hook's coming, right? And you can't counter back because you have to go cross body because he's so far off angle. So if you go watch Tyson, go watch for that, and it'll give a different perspective on what he was actually up to. Boom, he would hit that off angle. So yeah, man. Mike Tyson, case study. Mike Tyson is a dog, but not as much of a dog as King David. Oh, you're too kind. Appreciate you. I appreciate you for saying that. And guess what, man? Uh I I'm a big MMA guy. So almost anybody who primarily does striking only, I feel like they're competing in a limited rule set. Mike Tyson's one of the few people that might actually be able to scrap. Like that dude was so quick and so explosive. He might KO some MMA guys, right? So I don't know, man. People, there used to be a big debate online. It used to be Mike Tyson with 6 months sprawl training versus Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu blue belt, who wins? And dudes would go back and forth in the thread, and they would like argue about this. And the answer is obvious. Mike Tyson with 6 months sprawl training would wreck blue belts, right? But I get what they're saying in that regard. Like, could he beat somebody who's got grappling? Obviously, to me, a blue belt most of the time doesn't have really good grappling. And what's more important is ability to get the fight to the ground. And I don't think that the average blue belt would be able to get Mike Tyson to the ground without getting KO'd. Personally. But what do I know? I'm just a professional MMA champion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and a subject matter expert that teaches at the best gym on the planet. So that's my hot take for the evening. I think Mike Tyson would KO a lot of blue belts. I know, crazy take. So yeah. Also, guys, Strickland versus Hamzat's coming up. Everybody's excited for that fight. And Strickland was sparring Alex Pereira on Nina Drama's channel. So that's where we get our news from over here. All right. When you don't know what to look up online and you want some MMA news, go to Nina Drama's channel. She's got the fucking most up to date footage there is. And yeah, so he was on there. It looked like they were going pretty light. They were going pretty chill for the cameras. Near the end, they picked it up a little bit, which was kind of cool to see. But obviously, they fought before. They have a history. They're probably not trying to absolutely murder each other for Nina Drama's amusement and view count. But that was cool to see them training out here in Vegas. I also was at Extreme Couture today, and I saw Strickland sparring Johnny Eblen. Strickland look good, guys. Strickland look good. He might have a little something for Khamzat Chimaev. You never know. I know that Khamzat's going to be favored in terms of gambling. All the sports books are going to favor him. Strickland might come in for that upset. Plus, I heard a rumor Strickland made him quit while they were at Extreme Couture. You know what I mean? I thought Strickland's striking getting better training with Alex. Okay, so you think his striking is getting better training with Alex? Yeah. So I would say that anytime you are in a high pressure situation like sparring Alex, that yeah, your striking has to get better. It just you cannot get away with the mistakes you can get away with sparring lesser people. So that's why I believe it's good to spar somebody you can beat up, spar somebody that's competitive with you, and then spar somebody that's better with you. And then you get 3 different looks. So in the first instance, you get to work on a lot of your offense. Second, you get a live look. And then third, you get to work on your defense and you get to be like on your P's and Q's super tight with it. So yeah. Specifically the Nina drama video. Are you talking about the Nina drama video today? Yeah. So in other Khamzat Chimaev news, Khamzat has issued a $200,000 challenge. It's a $200,000 bounty to any Olympic wrestler who's brave enough to survive a sparring session with Khamzat. So I'm not sure if Khamzat's talking about with strikes, because with strikes, that's a crazy ass proposition to go in there if you've never uh, been hit or hit someone, to go in there with the UFC world champion and actually spar. Now, it's different if he's offering a $200,000 bounty for wrestling only. So, yeah, I would say that obviously there's probably a couple Olympic wrestlers out there who would be able to survive with him. So he must be implying that it's MMA sparring. And I think what he's doing is trying to prove a point that in a lot of ways, MMA is superior to wrestling. And I know that's going to upset some people, but let's be real. What is wrestling? Wrestling is a force of wills, right? Wrestling is a simulation of a fight. It's a form of combat. But MMA is more pure combat. And one of my teammates, Juice, is flying out to go fight in Gamebred, which is an even more pure form of combat because they don't wear gloves. They go bare knuckle in MMA. And Hector Lombard is fighting Yoel Romero, and they absolutely fucking hate each other. So these two, they can't even be put in a face-off together or they'll fight. They'll fight on site. There's a lot of drama going on behind the scenes. I don't want to spill everything. They do have issues over women, and they do have issues on some other stuff. But when you guys see the promo for the Romero versus Lombard fight in Gamebred, they really, really hate each other. So that one's interesting because anytime the actual beef is real and they're actually coming out to like fucking hurt each other, as much as like, we shouldn't watch that, we shouldn't encourage that. I'm not encouraging it. I'm just saying that adds stakes to it, right? It makes it mean more. And then it makes you want to tune in just a little bit more, right? So I believe one of the biggest ways to have people want to watch you fight more is up the risk and up the stakes. And what does it mean, right? So that Yoel Romero versus Hector Lombard fight means something because they fucking hate each other. I'm I'm not even sure if they can fight within the rule set without breaking the rules and trying to cheat and gouge each other's eyes or bite each other. I don't know what might happen in the fight. And so I'm excited to see what happens. And my boy Juice is on the card. So shout out to Gamebred for booking my dear friend and training partner, Zach Juicela. So, anyways, guys, we also have big rumors, big rumors. The rumor right now is that it's not going to be Conor versus Ian Gary, which is what I wanted. The new rumor is that it's looking like Conor versus Patty Pimlet. Do we even want to see this? Am I the only one that's not? Off the top of my head, I'd rather see Conor fight Max because they have history. What does Conor versus Patty do for anybody? And at what weight class? 170? How does that help Patty? I mean, I guess he gets eyeballs, but Patty has some technical and tactical stuff that he needs to work on because in the Gaethje fight, he left a lot to be desired in terms of being a top level athlete as far as his performance went. Now, obviously, easier said than done against a guy like Gaethje, right? But like pretty much anybody observing that fight, you wouldn't think that Patty's going to win a world title in the near future, right? So he's got some stuff to work on because I'm sure he wants to win a world title. That's what he's here for. And I just don't see how him going to 170 and fighting Conor does anything for him when he could actually lock the fuck in, stay at 55, which is a hard weight cut for him. Well, it appears to be. He gets up to 200 plus pounds. And, unless Conor's going to go to 55, then it starts making sense because you get him a win in the weight class. You get some eyeballs on Patty, but can he even beat Conor, right? I'm not sure if the Patty that showed up and fought Justin would beat Conor. Like, dude, people way underestimate Conor. People think Conor sucks. Like, oh, he can't even wrestle. Khabib smashed him. Dude, look at his takedown defense and his ability to not take damage in that fight. Khabib was trying to tee off on him. And I know that to an untrained eye, it looks like he was just getting smashed on. And he was definitely being positionally dominated. But the ability to not take damage when Khabib's trying to ground and pound, bro, like Conor did really fucking well in that fight. Conor did exceptionally well in that fight. And I mean, he got choked, but like in terms of his ability, he looked better than pretty much anybody has looked against Khabib, with the exception of what was the dude that cut all the weight? What was the dude that cut all the weight? What's that guy's name? That guy, some people were saying that guy went, I fucking forgot that guy's name. How do you think Conor's leg will hold up with that broken shin? I think Conor will be fine. That's a hot take. I know people say that it changes you and everything like that. I think Conor will be fine. We also have some fire emojis in the chat. LFG, let's fucking go. I agree. And I think Conor will be fine. I think Conor is one of the mentally strongest athletes that we've ever seen in the sport or any sport at all. And I think the same thing that will fuck with other people will not affect Conor. I think that it might even help him because now he's got metal in his leg. So when he goes to head kick, he's even more dangerous because he's got a bionic leg. So yeah, Conor with the bionic leg. Paddy Pimblett doesn't want to see Conor with the bionic leg coming with a head kick with a fucking steel shin. Guys, what if it's a benefit to Conor? What if his shin is so fucking steeled up that when you go to kick him, now you're getting damaged? What if he kicks and it's like you're getting hit with a baseball bat? Nobody talks about that. Everybody's assuming that because other fighters have had that injury and come back and been tentative to throw kicks, that Conor will be. But what if it's actually a benefit? And I know that sounds crazy, but like the dude does have fucking steel in his leg. And so, hey, shout out to everybody dropping emojis and saying what's up and let's go and 100s and all that. Also, I'm fascinated. You guys know I'm fascinated by the influencer drama, by the content creators, by the streamers, the influencer, everything, right? And so I got some insider information. This is confirmed. Okay, so if you guys don't know how Kick works, Kick is a streaming platform. You can go like this type of stream, which I should be on Kick too. I know, but until I get my fucking act together and have another camera here, which is live streaming on Kick as well, or a software that goes to both at the same time, which I would prefer a separate camera just for terms of service purposes. That's neither here nor there. But Kick, when you stream, they have what's called clippers, and clippers will clip. That means they'll take like a 30-second highlight out of your 2-hour stream and then post it. And then every 1,000 views they get, the clipper gets paid by Kick, but they have to have a Kick logo. So when you see Clavicular having a 30-second clip and you're like, why is there always a Kick thing? Or you see Rampage and it always says Kick. It's because the clippers have to put the Kick logo in order to get paid. So Kick is promoting their platform by paying clippers to clip up the influencers that are on their platform. Clav's clipper budget from Kick that Kick is paying out to clippers to clip clavicular, just clavicular alone, is $600,000 a month to clippers. That's what they're paying to clip Clav. Guys, so when you see clavicular on your feed, it's because they've literally clipped like 70,000 clips of him this month and put those clips out. And they're getting, over the course of clavicular being on Kick for a year, he's gotten like 2 billion views or something crazy like that, right? Billion with a B. Well, that doesn't happen by accident. So this leads us to the question of, is it even social media anymore? Because it's not super social, right? Because you're not like catching up with your friends on there. You're seeing some dude you've never seen before, and he's mogging. But is that really what you came on for? Is it just because a clipper got a bunch of people to watch that, and because a bunch of people watched it, now it's in your feed? And now, because other people found it interesting, you're being shown that because your peer group or your outer community watched it. People think that that's an interesting clip, and now it's being shown to you. So it's almost like interest media now, which is a term that people have coined and are starting to use instead of social media, because you're not catching up with your boys. You're going on social media and you're seeing strangers based on interests, based on what's going viral, based on Kick clippers, based on a budget that's being paid to those clippers, based on a platform trying to market itself by making them put their logo up there. So it's like, at what point is any of this natural anymore? I find it fascinating. And it's really, really a crazy question, because now not only is the algo promoting the most outlandish shit, now the most outlandish shit is now got money behind it. So in addition to the algo, the money's behind it. And when the money's behind it and it's pumping it up the algo, then the algo picks it up and repumps it. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, are we in a fucking crazy spiral of money and algo and money and algo and money and algo, right? What does this mean for, somebody who's got a great take, but they don't have the Kick clipper team behind them, right? Anyways, so I just thought that was fascinating to find out that Clavicular's fame is costing Kick alone $600,000 a month. Kind of wild, right? So anyways, let me check the chat real quick. How do you think Conor's leg will hold up? Thoughts on Patty the Batty versus Conor? Well, I think, listen, Patty the Batty versus Conor. If Patty fights Conor like Patty fought Justin Gaethje, Conor will KO him stiff. And he says Scousers don't get knocked out. But you play that game with Conor McGregor, you're getting fucking KO'd. Listen, Gaethje is one of the hardest hit motherfuckers there are. Everybody I know that's fought Gaethje says he hits like a fucking Mack truck, right? But the knock on Gaethje is he's a little bit wild. He dips his head, he throws overhands, and he's a little bit more predictable. If Conor comes out, karate stance Conor, fucking spinning wheel kicks and fucking turning side kicks, pushing you straight. He's spinning, he's pushing you with the left hand. Bang! The fucking left hand. Conor's got fucking eyes and accuracy. Conor gave us the game. Timing beats speed and precision beats power. If we get fucking peak Conor, if we get fucking prime Conor, if we get karate stance Conor, I'm picking Conor McGregor by KO against Patty the Batty. I don't even think Patty could conceptually take him down or hold him down. I don't think Patty can grapple with him. That's a hot take. Listen, Nate Diaz has some of the best jiu-jitsu in MMA. Full stop. Conor X-Guard swept him. You know what I mean? Like, people don't realize that. Conor did well in terms of not getting absolutely obliterated and submitted by Khabib. I know he got face cranked in the fourth, but he was in a Kimura earlier. He was in a lot of bad positions, and he didn't go out like a punk. He X guard swept Nate Diaz. You know how fucking hard it is to X guard sweep Nate Diaz? It's fucking hard. He didn't. I think Conor is, dude, his dope mount, bro, when he fucking beat up the German dude and then he dope mounted him, that was epic. Conor's a fucking student of the game. I'm picking Conor over Patty the Batty any day of the week, all 6 days, plus rest day. That's 7, Saturday and Sunday, depending on which rest day you believe in. Conor McGregor by KO. Let's fucking go, guys. I'm and Conor found Jesus. So he's not playing around in the nightclub every night. He's over here praying, hanging out with his family, getting right, cleaning his liver up, turning side kicking, drilling. Dude, Conor McGregor all day, every day. Let's go. That's my take on it. So I know some people like to say the take of like, well, it could go one way or the other. We're in for a great fight. I don't do that. I pick winners. I risk losing. Okay. I take chances, guys. I'm not like these other dudes out here. Oh, well, if Patty can blah, blah, blah. No, fuck that. Conor's going to KO him straight up. Clip that and post it after he does it. Let's go. So anyways, yeah, today's been a crazy day. Saw a lot of crazy shit pop off on the internet. Guys, I'm telling you, watch Jake Paul's plan. He's changing MMA. UFC is obviously going to step up. But I don't think that anybody else realizes what Jake's fucking plan is. I'm bringing it to you guys. And now, before everybody else sees it, before everybody else peeps it, before they go hindsight once it happens, and then they go, oh, Jake Paul had a genius plan and we didn't see this coming. You guys can all see it coming because you were here tonight with me. Anyways, guys, I'm going to pop on. I do streams every night. So it's important you subscribe and have notifications on. Hit the bell and turn it on to all notifications because some people are telling me they got notifications on, but it's not notifying them every time. You got to hit the bell and then you got to go to all notifications and then you got to turn on all notifications from King David MMA. Anyways, guys, I'm going to pop over to Instagram right now. So if you want to see me there, King David MMA on Instagram. I hope you guys have an amazing night. I love you. Thank you for hopping in the chat. Good night. Sweet dreams.